Hi, I'm Miss Lainie from Lainie's Learning Lane. I am so excited to share with you my interview with Marion, a woman in her 70s who felt, quote, stupid going through school. But after this past New Year's Eve, she no longer feels dumb. Please watch this fascinating interview I had with her, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. I'm Miss Lainie from Lainie's Learning Lane. And this is Marion.
Well, Lainie, I just have a lot of things that I've been trying to put together to tell you my frustrations and my problems in school. Most of the time I always felt that I was not smart enough. I became embarrassed a lot of the time, not understanding instructions. I would basically avoid situations where I felt I might be challenged. My grades overall were not that bad. However, there were certain subjects that I struggled so with. As an example, one of the things I can just pull down quickly is algebra. I certainly had such an enormous problem with that subject and never, ever went on to any higher math because of it. Did it affect my ability overall to go on to further education? Absolutely. I did start college. Unfortunately, I was placed in a dorm room with 5 other girls. It was one room on campus where there were 6, and I would be amazed at the speed and rapidity which these girls were able to complete their homework assignments, and I was still struggling. I was still struggling. They would be done and on to fun things, and I was struggling to finish, and it just got to overwhelm me. So after a year I quit, and that was that. And I feel that a lot of those things that I have been frustrated with is due to the fact that I was never given proper tools with which to learn. The learning process was not geared to my ability. It was geared to a lot of the norm. I guess I'm going to say the norm. I'm not feeling that I'm stupid now, that I have met you and you have explained to me that I'm not abnormal. I have ability, I can learn if I'm given the right means with which to tackle a subject or a project.
What is your learning style? What did you discover your learning style is?
Visual. And I knew this about myself years ago, that I could learn things a certain way, but not everything. Certain things were easier for me. I think one of the areas that I excelled in was drama. And I never really understood why until you explained to me how right brain works. And now I do understand. I always thought that maybe I was a little weird, because when I was quite young, I did a lot of fantasizing. And I would never discuss it or talk to anyone about it because I thought maybe I really was weird. But now that you have explained to me, people who are right-brained do this. It's maybe a compensation, I don't know, but I feel so much better about myself.
Since you discovered your learning style and
exactly,
and that there's nothing wrong with you.
I think that if I had if I had had help in the way that I needed to have help, I could have done so much more in life. I'm not going to say that I've suffered. I certainly have had good jobs. I've had a career. Of course, I'm retired now, and I find a lot of things of interest to me. When I tackle them now, I know what to expect of myself and what I have to do perhaps even to compensate, which is really wonderful. I belong to an organization, and I have taken on some projects within that organization. But I pick and choose the projects based on what I now understand about myself. It might still be an avoidance, but I'm not thinking of myself in terms of not being bright enough.
Isn't that the best feeling?
It's fabulous, and I'm, so indebted to you. It was a chance meeting. You opened up to me on a subject that I'd never had an opportunity to discuss with anyone, and as soon as I expressed my interest, you just came forth with all this information, and then I attended your workshop, and I took the test, and it proved exactly what you thought, and now I can just go through the rest of my life feeling so much better about myself. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
So when you were in school, what was something you excelled in that you could look back on and go, I'm really proud of myself?
Well, I started thinking about that after the workshop, and I remembered the one thing in high school that I really, really am proud of. So I'm a saver. I have the proof. I'm not just bragging. I just am so proud of the fact that this actually was something that I achieved. So I want to read to you a little article that came out of the school newspaper in 1952. The headline is Marion West takes second in contest. 6 West students placed very high in the annual Rocky Mountain Speech Conference held at the University of Denver. 600 students from 8 states were entered in the contest.
Wow.
The West students and the ratings are as follow. Marion West received a superior rating and a second place win in the oral interpretation department. That was a pretty big achievement considering
Huge.
the 8 states' involvement and all of the many
600 participants. That is
Right.
amazing.
So yes, I knew that I had some ability in certain areas. Drama I did very well in. So that is one of the things that I can say I did feel good about myself. However, I didn't go into drama and I didn't pursue a career in that. But I can always feel good about that area of my life.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
Parents sometimes want to live their lives through their children and see their children do the things that they wanted to do. And I think that's a really big mistake. I think I learned a lot of lessons from my own experience, and so I tried to let my daughter make her own choices.
I was going to ask you, how did this affect you as a parent?
Definitely it did, and I therefore decided that I would let my daughter make her choices. I would be supportive in whatever way I could, but I was not going to try to veer her into something that I myself felt would be good. It needs to be the person who knows their own abilities and their own desires and their own strengths. They need They need to do that. They need help. They need support. They need some guidance maybe, but they don't need to have the parent make their choices for them. It's very detrimental, I think, and hurtful in many ways.
Absolutely. Now knowing this information about learning styles, are you able to look at your daughter and discover how she takes in the world, what her learning style is?
Absolutely. She must definitely not be right brain. She's she is the polar opposite of me when it comes to many things, and she's very bright, and she learns very quickly, and when she tackles something, she never leaves it.
She stays focused.
She stays focused, and has done very, very, very well in life.
How was that for you two, managing her, because you come from a different place than she does? How was that? Did you guys butt heads a lot?
I was really hands off. For one thing, I never had to remind her ever to do homework. She followed through with all of her assignments without any of my help because she didn't need it, and her grades were good. And so I was really hands off where that was concerned, and I knew immediately that there was a big difference, and I always said, oh, she must take after her father. But well, needless to say, I'm very proud of her, but I was explaining actually my meeting you and what I had discovered, and
with your daughter.
With my daughter, and she just looked at me very puzzled. She said, She said, well, Mom, she said, I've never noticed these things about you. She said, that's really weird. And I said, well, I guess maybe you would have. I mean, why would you question the way I learn? I said, I know a couple of times you've gotten frustrated with me, especially when you insisted, that I get a computer, and you would sit down and say, okay, this is what we're going to do now. You do this, 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 and this. And I had to ask you several times to repeat it. And you would get a little frustrated because I wasn't getting it really fast. So aside from that, I guess she was just interested in why I was so interested in this, and I said because I felt from time to time that I, have some frustrations about learning things, and now I understand why, and I can deal with it better. And I, just because I am my age doesn't mean that I'm not interested in pursuing different things and learning different things, and so it will be easier for me in the future to tackle things.
Now, how is your relationship with your husband now, being looking back on your marriage, knowing this information? How did you two get along in general?
Well, of course, we were very, very, very different. But I think that he dealt with me so easily in those areas. The things that I'm trying to remember that he would teach me or show me was always hands-on. He taught me to shoot, and he was very patient, and of course it was very visual,
right,
and very
hands-on.
Yes. So and he was amazed that I got so good at shooting.
That's great.
Or if we were out in the yard, and he would say, well, you might want to try this because you're having a problem with potting. So then he'd show me how to repot something, because I did. I was just throwing the dirt in and shoving the thing in, and he would show me. And visually, now I'm a pretty good gardener because of it. So those are a couple of things I can think of where,
Those are great stories.
But he was a great husband,
Oh.
which helps.
Yeah, understanding husband.
Very understanding.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how did he get along with your daughter, your guys' daughter? Did they connect well?
Perfectly.
Very much the same, you were saying.
Yeah, very, very much. Yeah, they had a real love fest. Yeah, they were very close.
Neat.
Yes.
First of all, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do for work?
Well, I quit college
Mm-hmm.
and went to work for an ophthalmologist.
Mm.
That was my first job, and it opened the doors for me to continue on working in the medical field, and I did, for the most part, front desk and business. I would do full charge bookkeeping, do the medical billing, do payroll, do taxes, everything within running the front office. And I did that for over 35 years. And then I switched and started working for a law firm and did much the same type of thing, front desk, and a lot of interesting different things within that field, and then I retired.
So your learning style, looking back on your jobs, you didn't see anything that caused little struggles in your job at times, or did you that job worked well for you, the bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff?
It was pretty structured, and I would say it was it came fairly easy to me.
And did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
If